What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is a beautiful Thursday afternoon here in Miami, Florida, and 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today we're going to be talking about altcoins. So, if you guys were here last week when we went live and we did our analysis on the different altcoins, one of the main ones that we spoke about was Avalanche. And since then, Avalanche has basically taken off. So it was a crazy week for AVAX. I think on the week it is up 45% on the week. So it's currently sitting at about $38, and we gave you guys when we were looking at it, it was at around $28 or $29 around there. We spoke about a breakout above. It was above about $30. So I give you guys two options. I give you guys $30, or a more conservative approach was $32, which is where the Fibonacci level was. If you guys took any of those, you would have made a nice profit in a trade, because it went up as high, got up as high as $42.89. So it was a doozy, as you like to say, right? So today we're basically going to be doing the same thing. We're going to look at some of the top performing coins. We're going to go over them, see where things are, and potentially where they can go, right? And we're going to look for some potential trades that we can take within the next 7 days, basically. Some trades that I'll be looking at, some trade setups that I'll be watching to potentially take myself. So that's pretty much what we will be doing. I'm gonna start out with the top coins in the market. So by market cap, we'll go through the top coins. We'll see which are the best performing ones. And then after that, I'll pick out like 5 different ones probably from the market that are the best performing ones in the last 7 days. See if we find any type of trade setups there. And then if you guys have any requests for any altcoins that you want me to take a look at, then you could drop them in the comments, and I will take a look at those as well, look at their charts and kind of analyze them, see if there's any potential trade setups or how the outlook on it is. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Let me swap my monitor to, let me switch over to my monitor. Here we go. All right, so these are the top. Let me refresh it just to be sure. But these are the top performing coins here over the last 7 days. Well, these are the top. Let's look at the top performing coins first. That's just top market cap. So the top performing coins in the top 100 market cap over the last 7 days are these right here. We have Bonk up 75%. Remember, Bonk is a meme coin, so you know those get pretty wild. Injective, this one's up over 71%. So this is a good one to look at today. We have BitTorrent. This is up 68%. Osmosis up 61%. Woo Network up 53%. And if we look at within the top 10, we have Avalanche up 44%. We have Cardano. Cardano's another one that I want to take a look at today. It's up 40% in the last week. And guys, like just 2 weeks ago, Cardano was trading around 30 cents. It's at 63 cents now. So that's pretty wild there. Any of the other top 10, top 25, we have Polkadot up 17%. Solana up 10%. So Solana slowed down a bit. It had a massive move over the last month or so. And then some of the top losers, we have Terra Luna Classic, of course, down 13%. Kava down 8%. Thorchain down 8%. Conflux down 7.5%. And Lido down 7%. So let's go ahead and start here with the top 25 market cap. Let's take a look at the top performing coins over the last 7 days here. So we got, let's see, BNB is up 8%. Solana up 11.5%. Cardano up 40%. That's insane. Avalanche up 45%. That's insane. Polkadot up 17%. Cosmos up 15%. That's another one we looked at last week. And these two here up 29% for internet computer and 47% for immutable. All right, so let's go ahead and start here. I want to start with Ethereum, even though it's down 2% over the last week. The reason why is because Ethereum is the king of altcoins, right? We know that Bitcoin is the king of crypto, and Ethereum is the king of the altcoins. Let's pull up our. Let's pull this up here. Let's see how Ethereum is doing year to date. So year to date, Ethereum's up 91%, right? In the last year, it's up 73%. If we look at Bitcoin year to date, it's up 161%. In the past 12 months, 142%. So this is something that we see pretty often, where in the beginning, Bitcoin outperforms Ethereum, right? That's almost always how these bull markets begin. The main mover, the one to set it all off is Bitcoin. It sets the stage for everything else, basically. So then comes Ethereum, starts following, and before you know it, it starts outperforming Bitcoin, and of course the altcoins. Look at Solana up 638% year to date. That's wild. So of course, altcoins are always going to be a lot more volatile, right? So you'll see that in the price movement here. So yeah, Solana looks like it's one of the biggest winners of this year as far as the top coins that we're looking at here. So that's pretty wild. Nothing else is even close to it right now. And Litecoin, of course, only up 3.3% on the year to date. Litecoin is always a lagging coin, so we usually expect Litecoin to move post Bitcoin halving. So that's something that we're gonna be looking at there. Probably later on, we won't see too much movement. And we have Matic. It's only up 14% year to date. This had to do with the SEC when they started attacking a bunch of different cryptos. Matic was one of the ones that they attacked, and it dropped significantly basically when that happened because it was mentioned in one of those things. ARB and Aptos, both of them were basically came out very recently. So ARB is down. Aptos is still up though. Blur, this was another one that we liked. RVF. This one's been doing great. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Ethereum. And remember, if you guys have any requests on any altcoins that you want me to look at, drop it in the comments. I'll be looking at those in a little bit. We want to start first here with a couple of the top performing coins here. So we're going to set things off with Ethereum. It's up about 92% year to date. And it hasn't been performing too bad. It's been lagging behind a little bit, but it hasn't been too bad. So we can see where's the fib. So I always like to start off with the Fibonacci. We already see some levels here, and we'll look at those. But I wanted to draw out the recent move, the most recent move here. There we go. So we can see here from October, which is the recent bottom, right? The most recent bottom here. It's basically had a massive move up to the upside. It went all the way from about $1,500 all the way up to $2,400, right? So we just recently saw a pullback here, and this was across all the market basically, and we can see that it came exactly to this Fibonacci level here. This is why I like to pull up the Fibonacci levels, retracement levels, because they give us a pretty good idea right? About where things could pull back to. So, and if looking at this right here, this gave us the exact level of the pullback, basically, which was 2,200. If it were to lose this level, then we could potentially see it go lower, maybe to back down to 2,000 area, which was this big area right here, this big cluster of price action. So that feels like it would be another big area there for Ethereum. But 2,200 has always played a big role in Ethereum, and it looks like it played a big role here again on this retest here. So this might have been a pretty good entry there at 2,200. Now it looks like it's pushing back up. Of course, recently we got some bullish news across basically all the markets. And that news was that yesterday, so we got two different things that happened this week. On Tuesday, we got the CPI data, right? The CPI report, which is basically the inflation data from the past month. And inflation year over year, which is the main thing that people look at. It went down from, I think it was 3.2% to 3.1%. So year over year, inflation has continued to slowly drop down. And then yesterday, we got the Fed interest rate decision, and they decided to pause it. And they, not only did they decide to pause it, but in the report itself, they spoke about I think it was 17 different members of the Fed that are on the board. They're predicting basically 3 rate cuts in 2024. And then, of course, when Jerome Powell spoke, he speaks 30 minutes after the report comes out. He was basically speaking to that same, sound, right? To that same, talking about that they believe that what they've done with interest rates, that it's enough, and that they're probably most likely not going to be raising interest rates again, which is bullish overall for the market. So now we're expecting cuts in 2024, and we could actually see that if we look back here on the monitor. We can see that they're starting to look at the cuts right now. I think they're expecting, there's only an 18% expectation of probability for a cut in January. I don't think we see it in January, maybe in March though. In March, it's expecting the probability for a cut in March is 66% currently. So that's really, really big. And one thing that you have to know is that when there's a cut in interest rates, that means markets, basically everything in the market starts to pump up, starts to shoot up. And that's because money is getting cheaper to use and to borrow, right? So then people are borrowing more money. If you're able to borrow more money, you can invest more money, which means you can push more things, you can sell more things, and this basically boosts the economy, right? It pushes everything up. So when we get that first cut, it's going to be big, and markets are going to try to price this in. So you'll see markets starting to push up with the expectation for a rate cuts, and I expect to see that here next year. So you can see in May they're expecting 2 cuts by then, because this is 62% for 475 to 500. 450, so they're expecting 3 cuts by June. I don't know if we're getting 3 cuts by June, but I definitely expect some cuts leading up to that, like potentially in March, which would be very bullish overall for markets. And this is lining up with the Bitcoin halving. This is lining up with the Bitcoin ETF, spot ETF approvals. Like, everything is literally lining up for a massive, massive rally in 2024. So I hope you guys are prepared. We've been talking about this over the last few years, that this rally was coming. So you've had plenty of time to prepare for this. You've had pretty much 2 years to prepare for this at this point, because we hit all-time highs, I believe, in 2021 and around November 2021. If we look back on that, let's see. Yep, November 2021 is when we hit those previous all-time highs, and we're now in December of 2023. So you've had 2 years to prepare for this. This massive run that's coming, or at least over a year from the bottom here in June 2022. So plenty of time, right? So with all that said, let's look at Ethereum and see if there's a potential for a trade here in around the next week or so. So currently, Ethereum is sitting at about 2,300. For day trades, I think my magic number for me is 2,200. We actually took some trades there at 2,200 when we retested this level here this past week in the Discord group. My next level, I'm not sure. 2,300. I don't. It's kind of, you see how it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. There's not really anything that will is giving us, letting us know if it's could potentially go up or down. So that's what you call the middle of nowhere, right? There's not really much to do there at 2,300. As we approach 2,400, we see that we run into this kind of a resistance. It's just kind of the previous high of this year. So one trade setup that you can potentially use here is a breakout trade above this high here. So that high was 2407. So it would basically be a breakout trade above 2407. So maybe you could place it at 2410 or something like that. And my expectation, my target would probably be up here, $2,500. So I think 2,500 is that next big level for Ethereum here, and I'm definitely setting up a long position above 2,500. So those are the three setups that I'm looking here at, that I'm watching for Ethereum. Break above the yearly high 2,408, break above 2,500, and a retest of 2,200. I am longing, setting up long positions on all of those. Now, I'm not really looking to short anything here. I don't like to trade against the trend, especially with leverage. So I probably won't be looking at any shorts this week. So that's just more or less what I'm looking at here in Ethereum. So next, let's look at which was the next best which was the best performing. It looks like Avalanche was the best performer here. So let's go ahead and take a look at Avalanche. Let me take a sip of water real quick. We got Carlos in the chat. What's up, Carlos? Gaki, what's going on? We got Claus. Claus said, got a quick question about the algo signals. So the signals are for 30 minutes and 60 minutes, but I sometimes join later if the conditions are still the same. Would you recommend that? And how long does that work? So he's asking about, if you guys don't know, we have an algorithm that basically sends out trade signals in our Discord now. And he's asking about the bot. So you're saying that sometimes you join later if conditions are still the same. Yeah, so as long, the way that I see it, as long as the targets haven't been hit, then you can still jump in the trade, even if it's the entry is lower than what the bot signaled, right? So let's say, for example, if we're looking at Avalanche, right? And we say the bot gives you a signal to enter here at $38.90, right? If let's say target 1 is $40 and stop loss is at let's say it's down here at $34. So if target 1 hasn't been hit, then I don't mind that. Like I'm open. I like to enter that as well. And just, you can use the same setup even if the price is lower. Let's say the price goes down to $35, $36. I would still enter that, and that's actually better for you because you're getting a better risk to reward. You're getting a better reward for your risk. I'm like getting stuck. you're getting a better reward for your risk. So so I don't mind that at all, as long as the targets haven't been hit. Once the targets are hit, then the bot automatically is going to consider that trade as the trade is basically done. Like there's no more entries at that point. So it'll never signal a stop loss at that point, because it's considering that trade a win already. It's a success. So that's how I would play it. If there's a signal that was given, a few hours ago, an hour ago, whatever, the target hasn't been hit and stop loss hasn't been hit, then you can still take that trade. So I don't mind that at all. All right, now jumping back. Let me see back. Oh, here we go. Jumping back, and I was on my face. I meant to show this chart, by the way. Claus, let me know if that helped, if that answered your question on that. So all right, where were we? So we're looking at AVAX, Avalanche. So on AVAX, we spoke about this level here last week, $30. And I think we were live on Friday. So we were live during this candle right here. We had a 15% move up on Friday, which is why we were looking at this at Avalanche. And we told you guys about this breakout right here. And that breakout was very, very successful. If we just kind of take a look at where that would have put us. Remember, I said $30 was pretty much where I would play the breakout. That's a 42% move from that breakout. So if you trade with leverage like me, if you traded, let's say, with 10x leverage, that's 400% profit. If you caught it here at $30, sold at the top. So even if you didn't sell at the top, and let's say you sold right now, even if you sold right now, that's 280%, 288% profit. So very, very profitable trade there, guys. And even if you, instead of using the $30, you use the 32. At 32, you would have done still over 200% profit you'd be in right now if you use 10x leverage like I do with when you trade. So great move there. Now for this week, let's see if there's any other trading opportunities here for us. So let's start with the top-down analysis. Let's see what we got. So we know this level is a major level there, $32. That's one of the main levels that we were watching. That was the main breakout level for us. And we've run up to about $42, almost $43. Now, looking back historically, we can see we had kind of a similar thing here, right? So that's pretty interesting. It's kind of, it looks like it's pretty much right around $43. Let's make this smaller. Whoops, I didn't mean to make that. All right. So let me change the color because I can't really. There we go. So it looks like we definitely have some resistance here at this level, and that's right around $43, $44. And after that, the next major hurdle for Avalanche looks to be around here, which is around $56. So that's currently the biggest thing right now. Now, the next thing that we want to do, now we want to, since we're looking for a potential day trade or short-term swing trade, let's zoom into the weekly here. And now that we zoom into the weekly, we can see that same, look at this resistance here. So we had, look at this move here, where it was basically a massive move up. It got to this resistance here, which was that $45 to $50 range, and it got rejected, and it kind of consolidated here for a few, it looks like for a few months, really, before, you know, it actually ended up dropping and then took off even when it took off again with all this momentum, it went up. This weekly candle is 132%, by the way. Massive, massive candle. Even with that, it still got rejected there, and it still took another 1 to 3 weeks before it finally left that area and continued up. It ended up setting a high of $147 during November of that bull market. So I definitely expect that to get not only hit, but to get smashed in the next year, right? So let's see. So there's a possibility for rejection here, consolidation here, and this consolidation could go either as low as back to $32 or potentially back down here in that $20 range. So my first instinct is I would love to build an entry here at the $32 mark. So I like that entry. You can see we hit it there. We went down as low as $31.60. So I love that entry at 32 for a long position. My next one would be above the recent high, which is basically above this big resistance here. So you could set up potentially a breakout trade there above that level. I wouldn't mind that. I also don't mind using the 40 level since it's a big psychological number. It's a big whole number. You can use that as a breakout as well, with your first target being this resistance, which is basically $44. Yeah, so I don't mind that at all. And that's basically the two trades that I'd be focused on this week. A pullback to 32 or a break above this high. Either break above this high or a break above $40. You could use that big whole number as well. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'd be watching. I'm actually move this, which is my alert, to $32 in the event that we get $32 again there. Because I definitely want to take that as a trade, and I'm gonna move this alert up to the recent high. So that's the recent high there, and I'm gonna use that alert there. I'm actually just take away this since I have the alert there. It's basically the same thing. So I have two alerts set up here, and that's at the recent high here and at the $32 range there that we spoke about. So those are two setups that I will be watching here. And actually I'm gonna do the same for Ethereum. I'm gonna set up the alerts, and this is the best way for you guys to trade these things. Set up alerts. That's gonna be the best way so that you're notified if the price does hit that range, and then you could look at it and build a trade if you want to take a trade around that. So first, let's put one at the yearly high. So all I gotta do is hit add alert here for Ethereum, crossing above that price. So I'm gonna put above 2,400, right? I wanna know once we cross 2,400, so that I could potentially catch that trade. And message, just Ethereum crossing 2,400. I'm gonna just put above 2,400. So very simple. Create that alert. Did it create it? Where is it? Yeah, it just, I don't know why it's set up like this. Where can I, whatever, we'll leave it how it is. All right, so we have that one. And then the next one, remember, was 2,200. So I'm gonna just do the same thing here. Set up an alert. 22, open-ended. Again, I'm just kind of do the same thing here. Just wanted to say Ethereum crossing 22. That's fine. 2202 is fine. Perfect. So we have two alerts set up there on Ethereum. We have two alerts set up on Avalanche here. Next one we're gonna look at is Cardano. So let's analyze this one and see where we can set up some alerts as well. Look how crazy this is. We were literally 2 months ago we're sitting at 25 cents, and right now we're at 63 cents. So almost a 2x in 2 months. So that's pretty wild, guys. All right, so let's look at let's start with the monthly and try to see where we can build a potentially build a position here, or build a trade, right? We're looking for big levels that have historically had effects on the price. So we can see one big level right here. This is around 70 cents, which coincidentally is right where this Fibonacci level is as well, which is right around that 70-cent area. So right off the bat, that piques my interest, and I like that level, right? So that's a level that I am willing to play for a trade. So right off the rip, guys, I'm gonna create an alert right here. Of course, the Fibonacci level is there, so it's not letting me put it. I'm gonna just create it a little bit above it so I could set up the alert. So crossing. Is gonna be crossing 70. We're just gonna move it down here. 80A crossing 70. Let's move this down to where we want it, and even a little bit under it. That's perfect. I like it. So that's the first alert there, because that's a trade setup that I'm potentially looking at to set up, right? Now let's zoom in a bit, because we know the bottom levels are down here. Last week we already drew this level right here. This was a good level right here. So we actually spoke about this level. Look, we drew this box. So this was last week when we looked at it. And this week, this candle is 69%, guys. That is crazy. This is a 69. This is monthly. So last week, where were we last week? Okay, so last week was a 50% move. Yeah, so we're looking at a move either back down here or above this. Now some more confluence. We can see we have the 200-week moving average up here as well. So those are two different things that we have here as resistance, right? So a breakout above that should be pretty strong for Cardano here. So it's definitely, I might actually move my alert. Whoops, I moved the wrong thing. Let me see if I can grab it. Nope. So it's not letting me grab it. It's basically forcing me to grab the Fibonacci level every time. Oh, there you go. I moved it. So I'm gonna put this here at the 200-day moving average, not 200-day, 200-week moving average, because I do want to know a little bit before we get there. So if I decide to set that trade up, I have a little bit of time to set it up. So we're gonna do that. Of course, the other level that we're looking at was down here, and we're gonna set up an alert there as well, because that's an area I want to know if we end up crossing. And it's pretty much down here. Now, the levels down here, however, 50 cent is also, I consider, a big level, because it's a big whole number. And you can see that there's been a lot of price action there at that level at 50 cents, right? So I'm going to put the alert here at 50 cents, and then I could either play that level, or I could set up trades down here for a long order if we get down here. So setting up those two alerts there, and those are basically the two setups that I'll be looking for in Cardano. Either a break down here to this support level down here, or a breakout up here, which could, potentially lead the price up to the $1 range, right? So that's the next big level for Cardano if we break above this. So that's what we should be watching here. All right, so let's see what else. What else has been a top performer here recently? We had Cardano, Avalanche. We just looked at those two. We have Polkadot. So let's take a look at Polkadot. We didn't look at it last week, and it's been performing pretty good. So I think 2 weeks ago is when we spoke about this level right here. And guess what happened? Last week, we broke above that level. So we pointed this level out. This is where I would have had my alert. And we crossed that level. And look what happened when we broke above that level, right? And now, look at what's happening. We're getting close to this resistance up here, which is around $8, and price is starting to slow down. So right off the rip, that tells us that's probably a big level. And then if we start kind of zooming out a bit, we can see that it indeed is an important level, right? We see it here. It played it as a support there. We see here a lot of price action here. We got rejected. So it's a big level, right? So what do? We place an order there. We place an alert there. So I'm gonna just set up the alert right there. Sure. So now if the price crosses that $8 range, we're gonna be alerted. So that's one setup there. And then the next level that I'm gonna be looking at, that I'm interested in, is back down here, right? So we broke above this, and what usually happens after a breakout is a retest of that level. You can see it happened here. We had a retest, but you know, just with things that were going on in the market, it ended up retesting this as well. So I'm gonna add a level right about here. Add an alert there. And now we have two alerts set up. We have the alert here on a breakout of a new high, basically. And we have an alert down here of this previous resistance, which should now be a support level. And we're interested in those two levels if we're gonna look to take any trades on Polkadot. A breakout above the $8 range, or a retest of the $6 range. Those are the two levels that we're gonna be watching in Polkadot. All right, so let's see anything else in the top 25 that we want to look at. Not really. Nothing really pops out. We can take a look at Solana, up 11%. I know that's one that we've been talking about a little bit. So let's take a look at it really quick. Solana. Let me get out of, let's see, let's go to here. So here's where I did my analysis last time. And we can see we broke above this level. So again, that was the level that we spoke about. You can see this was a important level here. So now we're looking for something similar. Where's that next important level? And looking back, it tells us, right? Like it's not rocket science. I can't tell the future. You know, I don't predict the future. I'm not an oracle. I just look at history, and history tells us where these important levels are. So what we're gonna do, same thing. We're just gonna set up an alert there. That's at $80. So I love, you guys know I love those big whole numbers. So I'm setting up an alert there for Solana if it crosses $80, right? So that's one. And you can see after that, like there's not too much. So let's draw some Fibonacci lines here. We don't really have any fibs here. So I'm gonna draw one from the previous run, and that should give us some levels here to look at. So let's make this a little darker color, so a blue, so that we know that's previous levels. So you can see after this level here, it looks like this level here is going to be another important level for Solana, and that's at a big whole number, of course, which is $100. $100 will definitely be a big number here for Solana to break above. So that's another good spot there. If you guys are interested to create an alert, I'm gonna add an alert there. Those are gonna be the two big levels for breakout trades. So if you're looking for breakout trades, now if you're looking for pullbacks, we can either look at this level that's already here, this Fibonacci level already painted one for us. This is right around that $56 area. Another thing we could do to see if there's any other levels is do a Fibonacci on this current run here, right? So we could either do it from the beginning of the year, which gives us pretty decent levels, or the beginning of this current move, which also gives us some interesting levels. So make these yellow because these are more recent. Actually make it pink so it's not the same color as these. So you can see that it pulled back to this exact Fibonacci level, which is around $63. So the next pullback could be here, which is 56. Then we have this range right here around $47, $48. So those are all possible possibilities here. I think the level that I'm going to highlight to the downside are going to be these two here. I think this is a nice little range here. And you can see that that price consolidated within that range for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks basically before it had that breakout. So I think this is a nice little support range here, right between these two. So I would put I'm gonna put an alert right here at which is $63. Just set one up right there, and now we have our trade setups that we're watching, right? We're looking at 2 potential breakout trades to the upside, and we have 1 pullback trade to the downside if we were to get it. And for the pullback, you know, I don't mind entering anywhere there at 63 or even as low as 56 at 55 area as well, because that's another range here. That's another support here. So I like that entire area there. All right, so now let's look at, we're gonna look at the top performing overall. So I know I'm not gonna look at Bonk because it's a meme coin. You know, meme coins are very unpredictable. But I mean, I guess we can take a quick look at it. Bonk. Let's see on spots. It looks exactly like what a meme coin would look like. Started its run in October. So like most other cryptos. And that's currently where it's sitting, right? So we have these Fibonacci levels, and again, these are a lot tougher. There's not much history on this, right? So we can only look at Fibonacci levels and see potential moves back down to the downside. You can see today, well, this week it's up 35%. Last week it was up 135%. So when things are so overextended like this, especially in a meme coin, I never recommend, you know, jumping into one of these. So I'm probably not looking to jump into anything. But if I was, I'd probably be looking at a pullback way down here. That would be the level that I'd be looking at. Whoops. Can I draw? It's not letting me draw for some reason. Doesn't want me to draw, no. Nope. It really doesn't want me to draw these levels here for you guys. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with TradingView here, but it really doesn't like this coin. That seems like a sign to me if I ever saw one. So yeah, so let's jump into the next one, INJ. Let's go to Binance. Yeah, this is really tripping right now. Like, it's not even letting me, look at this. Nothing's happening. I don't know. I don't know what just happened. Let's try it again. INJ. Binance. All right, there you go. That's working. All right, so zoom out, right? Go to monthly. Let's see, how long have we been live for? We've been live for 45 minutes. All right, so after these, I'm going to take some requests. If you guys have any requests, drop it in the comments, and I will take a look. I see Fernandez said Block X listed on MXC Global. So Fernandez, if you're still in here, let me know in the comments and I'll take a look at that one next. If not, then I'll take another request from someone else. So starting out here, let's pull out our Fibonacci. Let's move it all the way from the bottom to the top, and let's see what levels it gives us. So this is always my starting point. This is how I like to start any analysis. It makes life easier, right? And it gives you some levels to start off with. So you can see, I just pulled it up. I just put from the beginning of this run to the top. Boom, it gave me these lines. Now I'm like, all right, so let's see what lines make sense here, and let's see what patterns I might see, right? So now the next thing I'm seeing, the first thing I'm seeing is, okay, look at all of this consolidation and rejection below this level right here, which happened to also be a Fibonacci level, right? And then if we look back, it's like, oh, look, it was also a level here. It was a level here between all this. It was a level here. Like, so this is obviously an important level there. So even without having this movement like this, I would have seen this without this move while we were consolidating here. I would have been looking back at this and I would have been like, wow, this is an important level here. So obviously this is a good breakout level there. So let's take a look. Let's look for some potential setups. So the first thing I always look at is as a potential setup is above the recent highs, right? Above, so it's the not only is it the recent highs, but it's the all-time high for this project, right? So that's a potential breakout entry that you can play right above that recent high. Next, let's go into the weekly, and the weekly gives us a little bit more information that we can use to look for trade opportunities, right? So now on the weekly, I'm like, okay, where would I like to see a pullback to that we could potentially enter? And it looks like down here is an interesting level. So that's potentially where I'd be looking for a pullback, right? I know we have this level right here. This is not a high probability level up there because it's not a lot. It's not a big pullback at that point, but it could play as a level. But I would rather play this level down here. So this is going to be the next level that I am doing because I like to play whole numbers. I'm going to set the alert at $20 instead of all the way down there on that support. So I'm setting my alert right here, $20. All right, so we have our two alerts set up. That's potentially what I look for if I was playing this. If I was looking to play this, either a breakout long above the recent highs, which is its all-time high, or wait for a pullback down here, and then this level gets interesting for me. So that's how I'm gonna look at it for now. Let's see what other coin here. We had BitTorrent up 67%. So let's see BitTorrent. All right, BitTorrent. Look at this candle. This last week, BitTorrent went up 171%. That's insane. So whenever there's something up that much, you gotta be careful, right? That train has basically left the station already. So you don't really want to be chasing that. You want to be looking for pullbacks, basically. So I'm setting up the Fibonacci levels the same way we've done every time. You can see on the monthly, it's up 170 something percent. So yeah, it's pretty wild, guys. But here on the weekly, we can see that it got rejected up here, and it looks like it's printing. This is known as a bearish pin bar. So bearish pin bar is when there's a big wick to the upside and a little body to the downside. So that basically shows that there weren't enough buyers to keep pushing the price up. So there's the sellers are overwhelming the buyers at this point and push the price back down. So usually this means that we're going to see some downside. For some downside, you know, potentially down here at this Fibonacci level, this is where I'd start looking for a potential entry. If not, I like this pocket right here. This is called the golden pocket between 61.8 and 78.60. So there's the golden pocket down here, but at the 50% level is where you can start at least paying attention to this right here. So I'm gonna add an alert right there, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not really looking for anything above it. I'm only looking at this point for potential pullbacks here on this coin. So I'm gonna add that alert there, and I'm gonna add another one down here. And those are going to be my two alerts. If we get a pullback back into this zone, then I'm going to get interested in potentially entering something to the upside. So those are the two that I'll be watching there. Let's look at Osmosis, up 62%. Well, I had a massive move down in 2022. Well, like everything else, right? They decided to release their project at the wrong time. All right, so if we go from the bottom to the current top, again, massive moves here. 91% move last week, well, last month, and a 76% move this month. Let's go into the weekly, see if we see anything else. See if we see any stories here. And I mean, we can see, you know, there's a lot of resistance in this area. It got rejected a lot in this area. So yeah, I mean, I don't know too much. I'm not too familiar with this project, so I'm personally never probably going to trade this. But if I was, I'd be looking for a pullback and kind of in the same range as the last one we just looked at. Kind of this level right here. Whoops, I didn't mean to grab that. I don't know why this is not letting me draw. There we go. Look at this. What is going on with this? Look at where the Fibonacci level is. That's crazy, right? Trading View is tripping out today. But yeah, either way, I'm not really looking to do too much in that. All right, so we got a request here from Mystery Man. Hi, sir. Can you please analyze Gary USDT, possibly 50% up, breakout loading? Yeah, let's take a look at that. Gary USD. So I'm trying to see where the most volume would be. Kraken, OKX, maybe OKX. All right, so we had, so this was released. This also was released at the wrong time. They released this during the bear market. So of course we had a massive drop, and now it looks like it might have bottomed out in September, started to move up. Let's there's not a lot of historical data, so whenever there's not a lot of history, it is a little bit more difficult to kind of analyze, but I will do my best. So let's start off with a Fibonacci level there. And let's see what it gives us. Let's go into the weekly where we can get a little bit more information. And I mean, the main things I'm seeing here are, this is obvious a big level here. Here we go again. This is not letting me draw. So for some reason, Trading View is not working. Look at this. It's not working right today. It's glitching out. Every time I try to draw, it doesn't let me. So You're just gonna have to imagine with me that I'm drawing a line here. But this is obviously an area of a lot of consolidation here. We have what looks like the 50-week moving average up here, which is coinciding with this resistance that we have up here. So yeah, I'd be looking at a potential breakout, but the breakout wouldn't be at the recent high. The breakout would probably be right here, where it was rejected a bunch of times, and also where the 50-day moving average is. So that's where I'd be looking for a breakout there. For pullbacks, you saw here that it moved up, pulled all the way back to this level right here, right? And then moved up, got rejected. I wouldn't be surprised if we got another pullback, potentially to that to here, the 50% area, or the 61.8% area. That would be another healthy pullback before a continuation up higher. So that's potentially what we could see. We might see something like that, where it went up, pulled back, went up, pulled back, and then goes up again. So I'd be interested in something probably below this level is where I start to get interested in it, which is 0.03622, just about, all the way down to 0.3 0.03 basically. So that's the range that I'd be interested in a potential long here. If you're looking to just trade it, again, you can build potential longs there, or you can set up a breakout trade probably above this level here, which seems to be 7 cents. So above 7 cents would be a breakout trade area. So hopefully that that helped. If we have any other requests, let me know in the comments right now. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Oh man, my voice starts going once I start talking for so long. All right, guys. So it doesn't look like we have any other requests. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. I appreciate you guys. Thank you everyone who tuned in. Make sure, don't forget to smash that like button on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're doing a lot more stuff. We have a lot of things in the works right now. We got a lot of cool features coming out in our Discord. So if you're interested in that, the link will be down below for that. And yeah, we'll be doing this every week. So every week we're going to be doing a Bitcoin analysis live stream one day, and the next day we'll be doing a altcoin analysis. So that we can continue to stay on top of both the Bitcoin, which is the overall market, and to stay on top of the altcoins, which can outperform, and in 2024 will outperform Bitcoin overall. So we'll be watching both of those, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, peace and love.